Check the mic, we're going live. Stories told, they rise and dive. Topics fresh with every spin. You won't guess what's coming in. Every week a new surprise. Minds awake, never lies. Conversations bold and free. Tune in now, just wait and see. This podcast is uncalled for. Catch us here, there's so much more. Laughs and tales you can't ignore. A journey that will leave you floored. In the night or in the day, just press play, we're on our way. Voices sharp.
Hello everyone. So here we are, season 9 of this podcast Uncalled For. For those of you who are new to the podcast, my name is Mike Chernevsky. I started this podcast as a way to kill time and examine certain aspects of my life and interview my friends in the process. And as we've evolved over the 5+ years that we've been doing the podcasts, and now on to a 9th season, we've met new people, met experts, revisited the past, and had a lot of fun, and I want to continue doing that for the foreseeable future. As let's be honest, I'm having way too much fun doing this podcast and everything. So yeah, so we're going to start season 9 with a potpourri of certain topics. So we'll start with a topic that lingered large during the KC Fringe Festival, which is available now. All the shows that we recorded during that are available now, so please feel free to listen to that. So if you recall from the Fringe episodes, my car was in the shop during Fringe. It had issues with starting. That sort of thing. Is in the shop for 2 weeks, including all of Fringe, during which they try to replace the engine control module. So it's basically the computer that regulates the car, and for some reason it stopped working. Again, planned obsolescence at work here, because not even a week after getting out of the shop, those problems surface again. This time I'm waiting 2 months. 2 months for a replacement part to come in. It doesn't come in. So thanks to my coworker Mike, we were able to find a much cheaper part on eBay. By much cheaper, $50 on eBay. And it came just after my birthday. I was able to take it to the shop. They were able to put that in, and they determined what the problem was. The problem was the camshaft sensors. Well, they found and replaced one. Turns out I have 2 on there, so I wound up getting a second opinion at a local Hyundai dealership. They told me about the second, and oh, by the way, one of your axles needs to be replaced, so that will be taken care of by the time this episode releases. And yeah, that sent me back quite a ways, but it's starting okay. The only major issue I'm experiencing right now is with phantom codes on this eBay control module. So as a result, I have a perpetual check engine light. If you've ever seen the Big Bang Theory, there was a running joke where Sheldon was reluctant to ride with Penny Full disclosure, my niece Penny is named after Penny on Big Bang Theory. But he was reluctant to ride with Penny because Penny was not concerned about her car's proper maintenance, and she perpetually had a check engine light on, which freaked the hell out of Sheldon. So, yeah, your check engine light is on. Maybe you should, check your engine. So that's what I'm going through right now. The check engine light is on all the time now, but it is running pretty good. Maybe a minor issue with starting once or twice. Turned out my decision with the new fuel pump to switch to no ethanol gas had no impact whatsoever on the car's performance, but it is slightly more expensive. Everything, so I need to be a little more careful what I do in my free time, if you will. So yeah, we got that going on. Still undecided about whether I will do 2025 KC Fringe, but I can tell you about a couple of projects I have been working on. One, I want to do a documentary on the KC streetcar after both the Main Street and Riverfront extensions are completed and open. I am actually recording this on El Dia de los Muertos, November 2nd, 2024. A lot of the, most of the construction on the Main Street extension is complete. They're still putting track in between the Plaza and UMKC stops, so near the end of the line. Almost all the remainder of the track is in, including what they shut down the entire streetcar system to do, and that is to tie the northbound parts of both the extension and the starter line together. So that is done. The streetcar is back up and running with a brand new platform at Union Station for the northbound traffic. So what it used to do, for those not familiar with the KC streetcar, used to stop at Union Station on the southbound track. It would go no further, and then going northbound, it would do a crossover just north of the Skywalk Bridge. There, the Skywalk connecting Union Station to Crown Center. There was crossover there, and that's how it go northbound around the loop and back down. Well, they took that crossover out. They put a new crossover to the south, so it now crosses right at Pershing Road and Main Street. And they put in another crossover at Westport Road and Main Street further down. So you could segregate the line a couple ways. And they're going to need to do that in a few years anyway when they start work on the east-west. Now with the riverfront, they started, there's now track up to the bridge. They just reopened the street just yesterday. Actually, they were looking to reinforce the bridge and take down a coal chute that crossed over the bridge. So the coal chute's down, the bridge has been reinforced, but they are waiting till, I guess, the spring to put the rest of the track into the bridge. But on the riverfront end of the bridge, the track is in, going through what used to be sidewalk in Berkeley Riverfront Park. And of course the stop is not in yet. They haven't built the stop yet at the riverfront, but where the stop would be was where the only cool shelter was in that park with the stone pillars and everything. But it'll be fun to see the whole line open, and that's why we're waiting until 2026 to actually shoot a documentary. Think Jeff Marshall and his Secrets of the Underground series. Are those unfamiliar, Jeff Marshall, he's an English YouTuber who is really into trains and transit and did a whole series on the London Underground. He did a video per line of the Underground, so there's one on the Central line, there's one on the Piccadilly line, and so on and so forth, pointing out cool things at each and every stop. Well, when these extensions are done, we're talking 19 different stops on the line, and yeah, it'll be cool to just do something in that vein and bring in the some of the local film community to help out with that. I've only told one other person about this particular project at the time I'm recording this, and that is a friend of the podcast, Caroline Boehner. And she's been quite busy lately too, and I'm happy for her and proud of her for getting out there and getting some good creative work. All right. So this being a Potpourri episode, we'll talk about a few other things too. But oh yeah, I was going to talk about the other project I was doing, and that is I started work on another podcast. This one is called The Ultimate Fan Lounge. So from the initials, this is a UFL podcast, and I've talked about the UFL on this podcast too, but I think it'd be cool to just devote an entire podcast to the league as a fan. So far, I have 10 episodes and some version of doneness, an introduction, 8 team profile episodes, which I will reach out to the UFL community and get fans of the different teams on board. Though I will tell you the Battlehawk episode is the longest of them so far, and probably will wind up being the longest of the team profiles, because that's my team, and I've got to represent, and they are the closest team to me, the St. Louis Battlehawks. And sadly, not planning on going to any games this year, although I do understand they'll be playing 6 home games this year. They'll be playing San Antonio twice at the Dome. And San Antonio gets one fewer game because of scheduling conflicts. Nothing nefarious or all that. But I'm looking forward to the UFL season. I'm, of course, recording this during the NFL season, and our local team are undefeated at the time I'm recording this. And of course, the whole Travis and Taylor thing, they're still very much together. And she is still, when she has the time, going to his games. But the only games she's been going to are right here at Arrowhead. And they say security concerns, and I get it. My understanding is she had some problems with terrorists attacks at one of her Europe locations in Vienna. Actually, so hopefully they get that stuff addressed and everything. Oh yeah. So, what else did I want to talk about in this Potpourri episode? So, I talked about my car. I talked about the streetcar project. I talked about the UFL podcast. Oh yeah, let's talk about elections. So, election day is just around the corner. I do fear that there's a very real possibility I could wind up either being deported or in a detention center somewhere, because I've used this podcast to publicly criticize a certain candidate for office who has threatened to put people like me in prison or mental hospital or get them deported or something. So that is a very real possibility, I'm afraid. Remote, but still very much real. That said, I can't bring myself to support what's supposedly my side of the aisle, and I strongly suggest listening to the presidential politics discussion I had with Amy Bell, because I do address my concerns there. By the way, and we'll be well past the election by this point. Hopefully the transition of power happens smoothly and without hitch and without terrorists infiltrating the Capitol this time. But I did wind up making good on my suggestion of just writing in Bernie Sanders for president. All right. Let that be a lesson to the Democratic Party. I am tired of this rightward shift that I've noticed in the party. All right. We gotta stop that. All right. It's gotten to the point that if a true leftist party were to start in America, I would sign up in a heartbeat. And no, I don't consider the Green Party to be truly leftist, unfortunately. That part, our version of the Green Party has way too many issues for me to associate with them. So hopefully some sort of progressive party comes into being or anything. I would also take issue with any talk of conservatives starting a third party. I would say a conservative party already exists for sane Republicans. It's called the Democratic Party. As what Bill Maher said was true. The Democrats have moved to the center, if maybe center right, and the Republicans into a mental hospital. All right, there is absolute truth to that. And I'm sick of the rightward shift of my party. If a true leftist party does appear on the scene, I will gladly sign up in a heartbeat. All right. That said, let's be honest. The way we pick presidents in this country is outdated. Has failed us twice in this century. Gave us first, it gave us W, and then it gave us 4 years of the worst presidents ever, or at least the worst presidents post World War II. That of course would be Donnie Dumbfuck. The process is called the Electoral College. How it works is each state gets a certain number of votes, minimum of 3, maximum of, well, wherever the max state has, plus 2. And those are based on the 2 Senate seats that each state gets by default, and however many members of Congress they have at the point minimum of 3, so 2 senators and 1 representative. DC, because of constitutional amendments, automatically gets 3. And hopefully Puerto Rico is okayed for statehood by the time we're doing this, because I understand they are voting yet again on a referendum for statehood this election cycle. And hopefully it passes, and hopefully we can put a 51st star on the flag. And while I'm saying fuck you, Donnie, and further escalating the possibility that I could be deported or institutionalized or something, I was going to say Puerto Ricans are American citizens, so let's show them the dignity of doing so and make them a state already. Okay, they are not a floating pile of garbage as your surrogate inartfully put. So, yeah, let's treat these people with a little more respect. And if you have a problem with people speaking Espanol, stay the fuck away from McDonald's, because at, at this point, they all have to learn how to speak Spanish. I do applaud them for learning decent English at this point, but if they're more comfortable speaking Spanish, let them speak Spanish, all right? And it wouldn't hurt to learn the fucking language yourself, all right? Again, going back to what we've talked about in the past, that's Anglophones, which is a fancy way of saying English speakers, are just too lazy. Unfortunately, the only way to get rid of the Electoral College is by constitutional amendment. That's not happening anytime soon. So, what a few states have done is they put together a interstate compact called the National Public Vote Interstate Compact. So it's a bunch of states that have come together and said, let's vote for whoever wins the popular vote. Let's throw our electoral votes in that direction so that we don't have a repeat of 2000 or 2016. But here's the catch. It will only kick in when they get enough electoral votes to take over half of the total electoral college, which is 270 votes. So the first states to sign on to this compact was Maryland back in 2007. I'm recording this near the end of 2024. So that tells you how long this thing has actually been going on. So Maryland was first in 07. 08, we signed on New Jersey, Illinois, and Hawaii. Hawaii did so by overriding a veto from their Republican governor. And I should point out that all the states that are on board have done so mostly with Democratic majorities. And if there's a Republican governor, they've found a way to override it. So good for them. 09, Washington State came on board. 2010, Massachusetts and D.C., our 52nd state, hopefully, came on board. 2011, Vermont and California came on board this compact. California, by the way, has the most electoral votes with 54 at the time of this recording. Rhode Island would have been next in 13. 14 was the New York added. And then we have to wait until 2018 for the next state to come on board. So that was Connecticut. 2019 saw Colorado, Delaware, New Mexico, and Oregon jump on board. 2023 saw Minnesota come on board. Minnesota did so with the current Democratic vice presidential nominee. And Maine was the most recent, earlier this year in April, and they did so without the signature of a Republican governor. There have been other there have been other attempts by other states to get on board, and we're at 209 out of the 270 right now, so it hasn't taken effect yet. It's shy 61 votes, and that's where you're going to be looking at possibly swing states and red states to get on board. And I think the most likely to get on board, based on more recent attempts, would include Nevada would be one. That one is pending. They got to pass it again in the next legislative session, and it has to come to a public vote. My understanding there. So that's a possibility. Virginia is another possibility. It says continued to 2025 for them. North Carolina, I don't know what the hell is going on with North Carolina. It says it's in committee and it's pending. So we'll see with that one. I think it came to a vote in one of the houses in Missouri. And then Kansas, it keeps getting introduced and it keeps dying in committee for the same goddamn reason that even medical marijuana keeps dying in committee. Because of lack of political will, or more accurately, the will of the Republicans in charge in Topeka to keep these initiatives from going forward, kowtowing to cokehead money. And while I'm on the subject of telling politicians to go fuck themselves, a special fuck you to State Senator Ty Masterson. Fuck you, you coke whore. That's Coke, K-O-C-H. One of the Koch brothers is still very much alive and causing havoc around here. So, yeah, I think that's all I really wanted to talk about. We did wind up moving offices with the chess club. So we're now in a situation that I pretty much have my own office. In fact, I'm recording this in my little office area. It's pretty cool. The only outside noise I have to really worry about around here is we are across the hallway from someone who gives guitar lessons. And so far today I did hear a couple instances where I'd be on the other side of the room where the door is and hear some guitar music, everything. Pretty cool, but I don't know. I don't know if it's going to interfere with the ability to host recordings here. But this is a great place to do podcast recordings. And I did get a blessing from my boss that I can come in here and do recordings for the podcast. So yeah, we'll get this cleaned up a little bit, and we'll start hosting recordings here. For as long as we're here, we also have a second room in this building that's just the playing hall. That's where all of our customers will be coming in to play some chess. And looking forward to doing all that. So, otherwise, health. I'm doing okay health wise. Had a colon screening, not the most pleasant of experiences. It was the non-invasive thing where you take a you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. But it came back clean, so that's good. But the process itself was not pleasant, and thank God I was able to do that and avoid doctors sticking stuff up my ass. So a little bit of Eric Cartman and a little bit of Peter Griffin experience. Cartman having aliens stick stuff up his ass, and Peter having his doctor stick a finger up his ass. I was raped. Dr. Hartman violated me. He took my innocence. Peter, that's a prostate exam. So, So hopefully I continue to do well health-wise, and we'll go from there. Because, I do want to keep doing this podcast for as long as I can. Gotta get to 200 episodes. All right, that's been a stated goal. Gotta stick around long enough to invite my niece, who is 12 at the time I'm recording this. So that's another 6 years I have to wait till she's 18 and legally able to be on this podcast without me begging my brother for his consent. I won't be around for the 30th high school reunion. So Brett Casson, if you are listening, I will be more than happy to provide this podcast as live entertainment. So we'll do a live recording, have you and whoever else wants to be on the podcast as part of the entertainment. And we got to get off my lazy ass and contact the big slick people about being on, because that would be awesome to do, and I think get some celebs on here. And I think that'll do it for this edition of the podcast. And happy season 9 to everyone, and I'll talk to you again soon. This podcast is Uncalled For, is hosted, produced, and edited by myself, Mike Chernevsky. Our opening music is This Podcast is Uncalled For theme music, created at suno.com, suno.com. And our outro music today is Want You With Me, instrumental mix by Akira Sora. It is licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 4.0 International License.
Please support the podcast and purchase our exclusive Uncalled For merchandise. T-shirts, sweatshirts, mugs, stickers, and so much more. Go to www.cafepress.com/uncalledforpod. Thank you so much for listening. We will see you next time.